Do you know what the real irony is? It's not their treatment of you. That part was predictable. Just human nature doing its thing. Disrespect, deception, assuming they can overpower you without noticing the turmoil hidden beneath. That's not the funny part. The true kicker? It's your quietness, your silent, icy stance. My friend, that threw them for a loop, didn't it? They wanted you to shout, to retaliate, to have a meltdown like a child. But you didn't. You didn't let them have that satisfaction. See? Using silence. Silence as a tool. It's like a quiet, deadly weapon. And the best thing? It slices through them. Deeper than any yell. Deeper than any blow. When you keep quiet, when you stay calm, they begin to suffocate on their own words. They question if they ever truly understood who you are. And that, my friend, is real power. They may have mocked you. We both witnessed it. They smirked right at you, and you handled it gracefully. But what they fail to grasp is that their mockery, it's just the beginning. The first round just ended. Now, the true battle begins, and you've already clinched victory. You've triumphed by remaining silent, letting them sink in their own foolishness, their own pride. In those quiet times, when they're left alone with their thoughts, that's when your silence begins to torment them. Slowly, the full impact of their rudeness starts to overwhelm them. As they lie in bed, recalling their words and actions, all they get from you is silence. That silence, it echoes in their minds, growing louder each night. As days go by, they start to understand the extent of their mistake. They realize they picked the wrong person to mess with. And you don't need to do anything. Just let them simmer in their own chaos. Let them suffer in the disaster they created. Don't show them what you're thinking. That's exactly what they're hoping for. A reaction. But you're too clever for that. You understand the rules of this game. You've already won by choosing not to engage. They believe they're smart. They think they can insult you and just leave as if it's all normal. However, silence is the most lethal kind of vengeance, and you're mastering it like an expert. Forget the fury, the shouting, the "how could you do this to me" drama. That's for those who aren't strong. True strength, true power, lies in your ability to remain composed, to be underestimated by them. They will ruin themselves just because you chose to remain silent. You see, people anticipate noise. They look for conflict. They thrive on turmoil as if it's essential. By staying silent, you deprive them of this. You leave them clueless, guessing, wondering. Their own thoughts turn against them. Each time they recall how they wronged you, they'll feel more insignificant, weaker, more pitiful, and they'll never see what's coming, because you've become an enigma now. You're untouchable. Your silence, it's now a source of fear, my friend. You become their greatest fear. The truth is simple. They didn't show you respect. They thought they'd get away with their behavior. But what about respect? It's cultivated in quiet, not through commotion. Allow them their moment of joy, their premature celebration. But in due course, their supposed victory will disintegrate. They'll start to sense that something's off, that you've evolved, and by the time they grasp the severity of their mistake, it'll be irreversibly late. Because your silence, it's not just undermining them, it's obliterating them, slowly, agonizingly. I know it's tough, being slighted by those you believed were allies. That hurts deeply. But pain is an instrument. Take that anguish, that disrespect, and turn it into power. Let it hone you. Let it strengthen you. Just don't let it enfeeble you. Don't let them witness your breakdown. The moment they see you crumble, they've triumphed. And we aren't about handing over victories, are we? No, we certainly are not. You are beyond that. You are smarter than that. You're the one steering this ship, not them. Let them think they've secured a win. Let them enjoy this time. Because in the end, they will be the ones tormented, haunted by memories of their actions, haunted by your unbroken silence. And when they come back to you, desperate for your focus, for your forgiveness, you'll realize you've already claimed victory. Your win was sealed the moment you chose to remain silent. And when that moment arrives, when they grasp the extent of their folly, don't speak a word. Just smile. Smile and walk away. Your silence? It's the most deafening sound they'll ever perceive. You know, the world has a skewed notion of power. They think it's about who can be loudest, who can land the hardest hit, who can cause the most drama. But that's not real power. That's just desperation. True power is subtle. It's quiet. It doesn't need to yell to be felt. It's like a ticking bomb, invisible and silent until it explodes. And right now, you're that bomb, sitting quietly, letting them think they've defeated you, letting them believe they've got to you. But you know better, right? You're not destroyed. You're not beaten. In fact, you're just beginning. And with every moment that ticks by, your silence is gradually closing the loop around their necks. They think they comprehend you. They assume they've solved you. But people like them, they're clueless. They only notice what's immediately visible. They don't see that you've altered the playbook. You've stopped playing by their rules and started playing by yours. In your game, silence is the supreme weapon. Understand this. Your silence is not a sign of weakness. It's the most powerful tool you possess. When they disrespected you, they were expecting you to respond, to lose control, to react in a way they could exploit. But you gave them nothing. Now, they're lost in their thoughts, wondering when the next blow will come. And it will come. Trust me. But it won't be dramatic or noisy. It will be like a whisper in the night. They won't see it coming. And when it does, it'll be too late for them to respond. Have you ever seen how silence makes people uncomfortable, anxious? It's because silence forces them to confront who they really are. When you're silent, it acts like a mirror reflecting their deepest flaws, the darkness they try to hide. And believe me, seeing a reflection that's less than flattering is something people hate. They can't manage it. They rush to fill that silence with anything: excuses, falsehoods, insincere apologies. But you owe them nothing. Let them experience that silence. Let them squirm under its weight. Let them absorb every painful second. And the real twist: they're destroying themselves trying to figure out what you're thinking. They're replaying every word, every gesture, trying to understand what's happening. They're unsure if you're plotting revenge, planning to call them out, or simply waiting out your time. It's devouring them, and they don't even realize you've already let go. You're not wasting your energy on them. They don't merit it. You're concentrating on yourself, on your next moves, and that's what's driving them insane. They often say revenge is best when it's cold, right? However, they skip the part where sometimes the greatest revenge is no revenge at all. At times, the wisest move is simply walking away, leaving them to face the consequences of their actions. They'll unravel themselves. People like that are usually their own greatest adversaries. All you need to do is step aside and watch them self-destruct. As they crumble, you ascend. You grow stronger. You transform their scorn into your motivation. Every mockery, every disrespect, every instance they assumed superiority over you, that's merely empowering you. But don't squander that power on them. Use it for your advancement. Build something grander, something superior. Let them regret ever offending you, all without making a single move. But make no mistake, I'm not suggesting you forgive them lightly. Far from it. They've already suffered the consequences. They just haven't realized it yet. Your quietude is their penalty. Every time they see you flourishing, living blissfully, that will inflict more pain than any reactive measure you could have taken in the moment. Think about it. They showed you disrespect, and yet they expect you to come groveling back, seeking an explanation, pleading for an apology. What they fail to anticipate is that you simply don't need them. That realization devastates them. It pulverizes their ego. In their deluded perception, they believe they are significant to you. But the harsh reality, they are nothing. They are inconsequential. And that's the truth that gnaws at them. Ironically, you don't need to lift a finger, but your silence will eternally haunt them. They will attempt to forget, try to move on, but each time they believe they're free of it, each time they think they've buried those memories, they resurface like a persistent phantom, a phantom endlessly murmuring in their ear, "You messed up." The best part? You're no longer concerned with them. You've moved forward. You're living your life, pursuing your ambitions, making strides. But them, they remain trapped in that moment, ensnared by their own guilt and shame. And therein lies the true elegance of it. You simply sit back and let your silence speak volumes. As time goes by, it becomes even more clear how different your paths are. While they are stuck in the past, thinking about their mistakes, you are moving forward, facing new challenges and celebrating achievements. Each success you have proves how strong you are and shows how much they are stuck. Your quiet way of handling the situation becomes well known. Friends, co-workers, and others start talking about how gracefully you dealt with the problem, turning a tough time into a chance for personal growth. This not only makes people respect you more, but also inspires others to follow your example of staying calm and honest. As you keep succeeding, they try harder to reconnect with you. They might send a text, an email, or call, trying to fix the huge gap between you. But every message you ignore makes it clearer to them that they no longer matter in your life. You have set limits that protect your peace and respect your self-worth. Someday, you might see them at a social event or a work function. They'll look for any sign of the past or any hurt they caused. But all they see is how calm and unbothered you are, with a smile that shows your inner peace. In that moment, they finally understand your journey. You didn't just survive without them. You flourished. You've built a life so full and rich that old problems seem small now. They learn their last lesson, that sometimes silence isn't just a reply. It's a whole conversation. You go back to talking and laughing with friends or co-workers, truly happy. Your laughter is loud and joyful, a sign of your freedom and happiness. And as you get back into the lively conversation, they become just another face in the crowd. Your journey of staying quiet ends not with a big fight, but with a quiet proof of your strength and the clear choice to move on. They are left thinking about what might have been, while you live in the exciting reality of what is. In this way, your choice to stay silent said more than words ever could. It showed strength more than any argument would have. It protected you, taught you, and in the end, stood up for you. And through all this, you learned that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is nothing at all. The reality is, they crave your reaction. They seek your validation. They want to know they've affected you, that they've made an impact. But you don't need anything from them. That's what makes you formidable. That's what makes you invincible. Listen, life is filled with people who will try to bring you down, who will disrespect and betray you, trying to make you feel worthless. But here's the thing. They're just reflecting their own fears, their own shortcomings, onto you. They're frightened. Frightened that you'll see through their facade. Frightened that you'll recognize your own worth. That's why they try to pull you down to their level. But you're not falling for it. You're operating on an entirely different plane. You possess what they lack: control. Control over your emotions, your thoughts, your life. And that scares them. Let them be scared. Let them be overwhelmed by their doubts. You stand above all this. And every time they see you or think of you, they're confronted with a harsh truth. They never had any control over you. Not then, not now, not ever. Your silence? It's a testament to that. A testament to your strength, which surpasses anything they can achieve. You are different.